All set to go then here at the Portland International Raceway as we get underway for round 14 of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. Yesterday's round 13 was absolutely chaotic. Not like last year's usual peloton style race, but Jaguar making the errors. To talk us through it, let's head over to our two pit reporters, Joe Samaniego and Nicole Fry.
From Portland International Raceway, I'm standing with Nicole Fry from Fans and Focus Media, Joe Samaniego, Grid Network. Nicole, it looks like a storm's coming, but the storm on the track, Antonio Felix Acosta is the one that came out on the better end. Got a win, but what a moment. 2 laps to go, coming to the final chicane. Nick Cassidy had the lead. Second place, Mitch Evans, 5-second penalty. Cassidy just missed that first apex, got wide, hit the curb. Next thing you know, he's spinning in the dirt. Big blunder, a lot of folks are saying, on the Jaguar team. Why wasn't Mitch Evans doing more to just allow some distance between Cassidy and the field? Overall, do you think this is one of those big blunders by Jaguar?
I don't know. It also just seems kind of like your standard race incident. These things happen. It's part of racing. It's what makes it exciting, not only for the teams, but also for the fans. Overall, I think it was definitely a misstep. It was definitely not something that they're going to be happy with walking away from today's race, but it could also motivate them for tomorrow.
Now, it's interesting because looking at the video, it looks like the back end of Cassidy's car got a little loose, missed the apex. We heard some folks saying, well, Jaguar, they could have been giving team orders to Mitch Evans to, hey, hold your pace. Cassidy wondering, could Mitch Evans make a move on him? We know team orders in motorsport is not exactly the most uncontroversial topic. Do you think this is something where Jaguar should have said, team orders, batch up the field, Mitch, let Cassidy get this?
I think hindsight 2020, that probably would have been a very smart idea. I don't know if that was their goal or it was even something that was kind of on their radar. I think everyone kind of assumed they kind of had it in the bag. This was so unexpected on all fronts.
Antonio Felix Acosta, the winner, last year got a podium here. I think a lot of folks thought he might get the win, but now 4 races, 3 wins. Of course, that disqualification, that could have been another win. He's on fire. He seems like he has some momentum on his side.
He's definitely fired up. I think everyone has their eye on the end of the season and what that means for them, their contracts, and their future within this sport. And I think this track is a favorite for the drivers. It is so fast-paced that this really just brings out the best in them.
And of course, you got a chance to talk to Antonio Felix Acosta. Here's what he had to say in the media bullpen.
Good afternoon. Exciting race. All came together in the last couple laps. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm feeling good. Obviously, we had a very good day, quick over a lap, and obviously we've been good in the races as well. And today, executed a good race. We were there at the end to try and finish on the podium, and then they got a little bit lucky in the last couple of laps with both Jaguars making mistakes. So yeah, super happy with that, and I'll take it.
Of course. So as we know, Portland is unpredictable. It is high speed, it is fast paced, and anything can happen in a moment's notice. How are you feeling about tomorrow's race? Are you feeling like you're going to get lucky again, or are we just going to have to wait and see?
Yeah, just want to have a clean day again, and then make sure that if we do a clean race. We need the car to be quick, which like it was today, but we know we have to work a little bit tonight before we go back to the hotel to try and understand well what the track's going to do tomorrow. And arrive here in the morning ready to go and try and fight for another win.
Wonderful. Any change to your strategy? Tomorrow's race is a lap shorter. Are you going to switch it up? And the weather could also be a little bit unpredictable.
I know. We'll see when we wake up what the weather's doing, and yeah, the race being a little bit shorter, it's same but different. So yeah, we'll just adjust a little bit to our strategy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
The rest of the podium, Robert Frins in Envision and John-Eric Verne, DS Penske. You luck at this top 5. All of them have a lot of experience in Formula E. Veterans of the series, Eduardo Martora up there towards the pack. We keep talking about this race being something unpredictable, but it seemed the veterans still have a little bit of an upper hand. Do you think this is something where they're just know a little bit extra, despite this being a very different race compared to last year?
I think so. I think having all the skills in your tool belt definitely helps at this race and at this track, especially with it being a doubleheader weekend. This isn't simply a one and done. They have to think about tomorrow. And if they are unable to mentally kind of maybe walk away from a bad race day or even kind of get off the high of a good race day and refocus and recenter themselves for tomorrow, then it is really the veterans that shine through in that skill.
one driver that looked like was going to have a good race, but it did not go his way. Jake Hughes. Next thing you know, he gets a attack mode. Mitch Evans made a move. Contact, that popped his tire. He was done. Mitch Evans, a 5-second penalty. Some people are saying too harsh. Here's what Jake Hughes had to say about that penalty. Jake Hughes, overall, I know it's not exactly the way the race went. How was it from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you effectively DNF after 5 laps, it's not great, especially when it's from another car hitting the rear of your car. I think the race was going absolutely according to plan for what it could have been for only 5 laps. You know, I'd just taken my second attack mode. Was running second or third, I can't remember. And there was still the immediate 2 or 3 cars around me still had to take one attack mode. So pretty much I would have, when the attack mode cycle finished, I would have been around P2. So strong pace to execute for the rest of the race. Obviously, I didn't get afforded that chance to show what we could do. The incident itself, I didn't feel. I actually had no idea what caused it until after the race, and I've seen the replay since, and I think it's quite clear.
You saw the replay. Is this a move where you felt like, okay, if it was 3 laps ago, it may have been a little bit more, okay, that's hard racing compared to it was just too early in your opinion?
No, honestly, I don't think it's not like someone, crashing into the side of you side on in the middle of a corner like happens quite often. I wouldn't say Mitch does something silly or stupid. I think it's just a bit of it's almost a racing incident, but I think it's more on his side, the blame. I can understand his frustration with his penalty, but at the end of the day, for me, I care about my race, and my race was ruined with it.
And last question, I know in the United States, there's especially stock cars, drivers will sometimes talk to each other like, hey, sorry for getting into contact. Is that something, a little bit of the culture here in Formula E, where after the race weekend or after the race, a driver will go and say, hey, sorry about that, and try to mend fences? Or is it one of those deals where you ruined my race, it's just sort of don't bother?
No, it's more the former. I think we're all quite mature, level-headed guys, most of us. There's maybe 1 or 2 that could question that. But no, I think we know what these races need in terms of the driving to win, and that it means being very aggressive and sometimes causing some issues. So quite often after the race, you see a lot of guys almost feeling guilty for what they did, but they felt like they needed to do it to get a good result. And this is what we're playing with or trying to flirt with on the balance of those 2 things. So yeah, whenever something happens, everyone really apologizes quickly, but we're all interested in getting the best result for ourselves, so sometimes it can happen.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
So here in Jake Hughes' side, we've seen the video, we've heard Mitch Evans. Where do you see this? Was this just simply too much, too early from Mitch Evans' part?
I think he was definitely pushing a little too hard, too fast. Again, it's just one of those tracks where race incidents happen quite a bit. It's not surprising that something like this happened at Portland, and I think hopefully they'll be able to kind of refocus and just keep that in the back of their minds for tomorrow.
One of the things that caught me by the surprise, I don't know if it caught you by surprise, well, we always talk about the Shelton chicane, it could be a trouble spot. Well, okay, everyone maneuvered it, okay, but with this final chicane, it seemed like compared to last year, a lot more vehicles going wide during practice. I counted at least 6. The race, Nick Cassidy, that's going to be replayed over and over leading up to London. Did that surprise you as well, or was this something where you just feel like the race sort of went the way you anticipated?
It was completely different from anything I think I was expecting. It was so strange to see so many drivers go off at the place where it's not really known for that happening here at the track. I think it's definitely something all the teams are going to keep an eye on tonight to see if there's a reason why this is happening with these cars, to see if it's maybe the data they were using previously with a potentially modified track layout. Time will tell. Hopefully tomorrow the teams will be better prepared to handle it.
And we talked to several drivers. Here's what they all had to say after the race.
Hello, how are you doing today? How are you feeling after today's race?
Yeah, I think for sure it's a different series, different world Formula E, but I'm quite happy. It was a positive day. Also, I was super excited the whole day to be here. But in general, I think Formula E is it's a tough championship.
Are you finding the transition is difficult in like certain ways, or is it just a completely new ballgame?
Nah, I think everything is quite different and unique about the championship. Obviously, I think I managed to be quite quick today morning and also in qualifying. But the race is a whole different game. I think you just need to be really, really smart and use your energy wisely. And I was just a little bit lost on how to be efficient today, but hopefully I can learn from that and improve tomorrow.
So any strategy changes for tomorrow? We're going to be a lap shorter potentially. The weather is going to be much different. Are you kind of using today as a learning day and hoping tomorrow is going to be better, or do you know you're going to have to work on some things tonight?
Nah, for sure I have to work on some things, especially how to use my energy wisely. I think I was quite good in terms of percentage, but then I saw, like, of course the experienced guys, they were next to me with like Jev, and we were quite similar in energy, quite similar in track position, but then he was just managing to climb up, and I was looking like, how is he doing that? And he's just trying to understand a little bit better and move on from that. But for sure, hopefully tomorrow we can qualify even better and be at the front. I think will be much cleaner for everyone.
Perfect. And so as far as the track is concerned, do you have a favorite portion of the track just yet, or are you just still learning it all?
Obviously I think the last chicane is quite high speed, it's really nice, and it's one of my favorite parts.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
What a day. Let's start off with qualifying. A lot of folks were surprised to see you up to the front. Is this just something where in qualifying you feel like the car just has a little something where in the pack racing, is that the challenge?
No, I mean, I think there's been a couple of places this year where we could have qualified well. I haven't quite nailed it. But today the car was very good on one lap. That's our only strength really. Like in the races we're so inefficient. I tried to stay where I qualified for the first few laps, but for me to do that I have to use so much more energy than others, and then you just obviously end up dropping backwards. So yeah, I think we were a bit over optimistic with the strategy today. So yeah, just try and qualify well tomorrow and maybe go for a bit more of a riskier strategy. If it doesn't work, that's fine, but something might work. So yeah, I think we just have to take a bit more risk, and that's our only hope.
At this point in the season, with 3 races remaining, is this where you're all looking at taking more risk now compared to earlier in the season, where if you had a good qualifying effort, you tried to play a little bit more conservative?
It depends on the track. The track has a big bearing. I mean, here, there's such a big peloton effect, and there's sort of more variables that could reward a riskier strategy. So it would make sense to try something a bit more out there for tomorrow. But somewhere like London, where the tow effect's not very big, qualifying's more important because you can't overtake. You take less risk at a race like that. So yeah, I think tomorrow we need to be realistic about where our race pace is and our efficiency is, and try something a bit more out the box. Otherwise we may as well not even bother racing. So we just have no efficiency. It's so tough. So yeah,
thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
No problem. Thank you.
Hello Norman, how are you doing today after today's race?
Well, I was feeling a bit better this morning after the qualifying. Tough race, honestly. Like today we had no efficiency. We tried to send it at the front as early as possible to be in a good position because we felt it was the right thing to do. But yeah, it was a kind of day, honestly, where we didn't analyze everything yet, so I didn't have a clear answer. But yeah, it was a bit of a tough race. Yeah.
Does that mean we can see a clear change in strategy tomorrow for the race?
Well, honestly, I don't know yet. As I say, I have to analyze first what we could have done better. But yeah, for now, honestly, I don't know. Like we have to rethink of the qualifying first of all because we go again tomorrow with a different number of laps. Target will be also different, so I think it will be also more important to start at the front. But yeah, so far we need to understand first what happened during the race.
Absolutely. And do you think going into tomorrow's race, the weather or even the track's unpredictability is going to be a major factor in who ends up on top of the podium?
Well, yeah, for sure. If the weather change, we get some rain, it's gonna be a pretty open qualifying or even a race if we have some storm. But yeah, for now, honestly, I'm not even thinking of the race of tomorrow. For now, as I say, there's FP3 quali again, which will be important to start in a good position, and from there, yeah, we have to do a better race than what we did today. There's a few things we didn't do well, but it's not the main explanation. We struggle with the pace in general, in race. So it was a bit of a surprise because normally we are pretty strong in race. So yeah, we just need to analyze.
And just to kind of round out the weekend, this is Andretti's home race. It is a big race for the team. You've been doing lots of PR. Are you going to be able to get any downtime tonight in between the race and fully prepare for tomorrow, or are you going to be doing other media obligations throughout the night?
Well, we did the media already like on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So like double header is. In terms of energy, it's really demanding. So we've got some work to do better job tomorrow, and the best we can do is to try to do at least a podium. So to do that we need to work tonight. So that's the plan.
Wonderful. Best of luck tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lucas, welcome back to Portland again. Racing has evolved a lot from last year, and you've been here since race 1. Overall, as the racing keeps progressing and evolving, what are your thoughts on how the series has progressed and evolved with the racing too?
Well, I think Formula E has progressed a lot, and the cars are faster, technology are better, the teams are more professional. So the championship is getting stronger and stronger, and that's a very good thing for Formula E.
Now, of course, next year you're all going to be in Miami. Most likely, Portland will not be on the calendar. But how will you remember Portland, especially with all the various races you run globally?
I wish we had a race here. I see no reason why not having a race in Portland and Miami. So hopefully in the future we come back, because I like this track. I like Portland. Hopefully we come back.
And we'd love to see you on the grid next year. When it comes to this season, I know it hasn't exactly been that great. Is this something where you just feel like, okay, let's just start putting pieces together for next year? Or is it just go aggressive, try to get as many points and sneak a podium, especially if trouble occurs in the front?
100%. We're going to push it to the very end. But this season has been my worst season ever. From problems to being unlucky to performances actually has been not so bad in the last few races. We've always been there on the top 10. But we just struggle to convert that into points. Always there is something, always there is a problem, always there is a battery heating or something breaking or some contact in the wrong time of the race. So I can't wait for the season to finish and we start a new one next season.
Looking forward to seeing you next season. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Nicole, so we're all going to be here tomorrow. You're going to have to practice again. You're going to have to qualify again, then the race again. Press conference, they were talking about now another lap shorter. Do you anticipate we're going to see more aggression out there on the track?
I don't know if more aggression is the way I would put it. I think we're definitely going to see a very different change in strategy. I think a lot of teams and drivers are going to be worried about their energy consumption and how they manage that, as well as their attack mode, given that the race is 1 lap shorter. I think tomorrow's definitely going to be a big challenge for a lot of them, and I think most teams tonight are definitely going to be at the drawing board, analyzing all of their data, trying to figure out how they're going to kind of adapt their team and their cars and their drivers for tomorrow's race.
And of course, tomorrow we'll be on the air right here on the Grid Network. To subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our programs all week long, because we're going to have a busy Sunday with all the action here. Grid Live Wrap-Up, Grid Encore on Monday, followed by Grid Tonight to win the Motorsports, and we do it all over again next weekend. So hit the bell icon, subscribe. For Nicole, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching, and enjoy all the races.
So, yesterday saw Antonio Felix da Costa take victory. Robin Frijns was in second position as well. The really big surprise from that one is what happened with Nick Cassidy, so far down the order as well in the end. Cassidy leads the title on 24 points. Qualifying for round 14 took place earlier on today. Let's head back to Joe and to Nicole for their thoughts.
From Portland International Raceway, Joe San Diego, Nicole Fry from Fans and Focus Media. And Nicole, qualifying is in the books, and for the 17th time, Jean-Eric Vergne is on the pole, more poles than anybody in Formula E, and he did it against Antonio Felix da Costa, who he wanted those 3 bonus points. He's still mathematically in the championship, but now he's starting second. Jean-Eric Vergne, who finished third yesterday, on the pole. Who do you think is going to have the upper hand entering that first corner?
I'm going to say it has to be Jean-Eric Vergne. He's had a wonderful weekend, I think, so far, and I think the second race is definitely his race to win.
His race to win, and I think a lot of folks sometimes see Jean-Eric Vergne as, okay, he's getting up there with Sebastian Buemi, Lucas Di Grassi. They sometimes count him out. He's definitely a contender to win this race weekend. Nick Cassidy, let's talk about him. He got into the duels, but then was out in the first round. I'm getting the sense, though, he has what it happened yesterday out of his mind, ready to go forward. Do you get that sense? Because he still has a pretty healthy points lead.
I do, and I think here in Portland, being kind of towards the midfield, especially for the start of the race, isn't a bad thing, and I think their team can definitely work with that position. I think they can work their way up through the field, and especially if we have a safety car, then that's going to work perfectly and play right into their hands.
And that'll be nice for Jaguar if it works into their hand, because one of the things we were watching qualifying, both Jaguars made it in, so that's a good first step. They're going to be starting that top half. That's another good step. And I started thinking about it yesterday more, and I sometimes get the sense it was Jaguar's history of Mitch Evans coming close to a championship, his run-ins with his past teammate Sam Burr where they've collided, and then yesterday. Do you agree with this idea that maybe Jaguar is just held a little bit to a higher standard compared to the other teams here? Because we know Formula E is notorious for contact, drama in the races, and this is just one of those teams where this year, it's been overall good. Just yesterday was one of those deals. I almost get a sense sometimes some people almost view them sort of like the Ferrari F1 where, there they are doing what they do best. Do you think Jaguar's a little bit in that category?
I think so. I think they're a favorite amongst fans. They're a favorite amongst the veterans of the sport. And I think amongst all of their performances this season, we were really hoping just for a spectacular day yesterday. So it was a little bit of an upset, and I think they're definitely going to be vying for their positions back. I think they are going to want to be on their A game. And I think if they play their cards right, the second race could just fall right into their hands.
And hopefully if they're on their A game, regardless of what happens in the second race, we'll get to see Nick Cassidy in the bullpen after the race. I know he didn't show up yesterday. A lot of folks asking, hey, where was Nick Cassidy? Probably wasn't in the mood to talk to us or anybody here yesterday. Two drivers that I don't think are exactly in a good mood. Nato Colette, again, turn 10, turn 11. It just seems like the car's unstable. What do you make of that situation between those two, essentially following each other off the track?
It was definitely an interesting scenario. I don't think we've quite seen that play out yet, despite all of the spins and the things that we've seen at those corners this weekend so far. It wasn't completely unsurprising given all of the weird things that happened there yesterday, but it was definitely a rookie mistake, and hopefully I think one that they will not want to be repeating anytime soon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, the other rookie, Jahan Derivla, running full time. He brought the car home in one piece yesterday. We were hearing a lot of folks talking about, okay, this race is shorter by 1 lap compared to yesterday, which when you think of the big picture from last year, that's 2 laps shorter. People are talking about the start. People are going to maybe try to get toward that front group faster. Do you anticipate we're going to see a little bit more action during this first opening laps, or do you think people are going to try to maybe wait out in case we see some mayhem in the Shelton chicane or now turn 10 and 11?
I think it is going to be a lot of chaos into that first turn. I think these drivers are ready. They don't want to repeat of yesterday for some of them. Some of them want to be able to use yesterday's data and have a better strategy and better utilize their battery power. So I think there's going to be a lot of push those first couple of turns to just get out in front, or at least get up into that midfield pack at a comfortable level where they know they can be safe for a couple of laps, or at least until the end of the race.
One team I feel looking like they got the pace, but Buemi yesterday with that penalty was an odd factor. Robin Friends up there again. Do you think this is a race where Envision, where they've been up there towards the front, they know how to get the points, they're the defending points champ for the teams. Do you see them again having Robin in the podium? And could Buemi now have a better race after what happened yesterday?
I think it's really going to depend on whether or not we have a safety car this race. I think that's a real possibility. The weather's been in question. That turn 10, turn 11 has been into question. And it seems like practice session, qualifying, or race so far, we've seen a little bit of hesitation from one of the teams that has caused maybe a little bit of a spin or an incident, or at least a flag of some sort. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle their strategy and their battery power, and to see if, quite frankly, everyone is on their A game. They have to be at this track, and if they're not, then I think we're going to be in for a very interesting race yet again.
And it's going to be interesting because you bring up the weather. The sun has come out again. It was raining last night after everyone left the track. Mm-hmm. Then we had overcast skies. Folks were saying, oh, it's going to rain. Well, here we are. It's getting warmer, but we see clouds that look like could bring raindrops in there. Overall, when it comes to 3 keys in this race, what are you going to be watching for from the moment they start the race, halfway, and then towards the end?
Ooh, so overall, I think I'm definitely going to be seeing how the rain and the wind and whether or not any of the cloud cover comes in. I think temperature and tires is going to be a very potentially big issue if there is a big shift suddenly. But for the big three sectors of the track, I think it's really going to depend on where the weather is coming from and whether we see any change.
You bring up a good point about the tires. I noticed when I was over in the Shelton chicane taking photos, some drivers like Nick Cassidy, you barely hearing the tires squealing. Other drivers, they're squealing, they're on it more. I'm really curious as the race progresses if this continues to get hotter and hotter and those tires get warmer and warmer. Could tire management be a little bit of an issue? It's interesting because John Eric Vernon yesterday said not really, but this is motorsports, this is groove tires. Do you think maybe it's just a less of a degree compared to if we were on slicks? Then I could see that would be a major factor.
Definitely. I think, if the weather's consistent is obviously less of an issue, but it could also be, something that they really need to think about if there is going to be some bad weather on the horizon. Tire temp is always a factor in motorsports, and I think while it's maybe not as much of an issue in the sport compared to other series around the world, it is definitely something they're going to want to keep a close eye on.
And of course, we're going to be keeping a close eye on the race weekend right here at Portland International Raceway. We want to give a big shout out to Rob, one of our subscribers that watches our channel, for stopping us, saying hello. Definitely, if you see us and you subscribe to us, say hi to us to the track. We might have Grid Network stickers, so definitely thank you everyone for supporting us through Patreon. Buy me a coffee. You can still buy us a cup of coffee. Well, maybe more an iced tea will sound better now compared to this morning, but definitely the support for the entire team means a lot to be out here. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon. We'll be back after the race to recap it all. And don't forget, Grid Life Wrap Up. Ben, Kobe, and some of the others will be recapping F1. Thrilling finish. That's going to be a lot to talk about. NASCAR is going to be later tonight. And of course, the grid ranking, that's going to be updated. Sebastian Ogier missing the World Rally Championship. Where is he in the standings? For Nicole, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching. We'll see you after the races, and enjoy the races.
Amazing work from those two down there this weekend, and continue to go to the Grid Network as well. They'll have all the post-race reactions. We're getting all set then here for round 14 of the season here in Portland, and it's going to be another classic. Well, we welcome you up into the commentary box now as well as the pre-show starts to play on the background once again. We don't want it to do it again. You've played your 28 minutes. Thank you very much, pre-show. You may go now into the abyss as well. Hello, everybody watching on JBMotorsports and on the Grid Network. Here we go then. One more time here in Portland. But as Lucas deGrassi said, why not race here twice? Why can't we race here twice? That's always a question that I want to hear and always something that I want to see. So, this is going to be a very interesting round to the championship because we've got Nick Cassidy, who has a shot at winning the Drivers' Championship, putting one hand on it here today. He starts in 6th. Teammate Evans, he starts 11th on the grid. But Jaguar can win the Teams' Championship this weekend. They are so far ahead, this race could do it. They're more than the 68 points ahead in the championship. They are the winners, and that could be happening. So it's all up in the air, and it's all to play for. It's going to be an exciting round of the championship, and it's going to be an exciting round here on JB Motorsports and Grid Network. So this is how it's going to happen. We're going to have the usual procedure, but this time it's today for 26 laps. So it's, again, 2 laps less than what we had yesterday, which means the go point should be a little bit earlier. Yesterday we saw a lot of battery saving as soon as the lights went out and the run down to turn 1. The lift and coast was insane. We weren't expecting as much into the Shelton chicane as we were. Just no drama, no action. Still don't know to this day what happened to the Maserati as well. Max Gunther just dropping down the field. So it's having issues, it's having problems, but that's how it is all going through. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good one. My voice is just about holding on. Now, Josh T is going to be down in the pit lane for us. We're going to hear from him in a second as well. We don't know if Ed Hunter's going to make it in or not as well, depending on if he's in time or not, because he's been working at an actual go-kart event, so fair dues to him. But JT is going to keep me company for the race procedure as well. If I put that up and put that on there and say hello to JT, who's now listening in the pit lane. He's also covering NASCAR. So let's get a quick 1-2-1-2, JT. What's happening over in the world of NASCAR as well, as we welcome you to the broadcast here?
Yeah, hello everyone. Hopefully my mic level is good. I'm
It's good.
triple duty in right now across US and JB Motorsports. 5 of 300 and rain is on the way, so it could be a long night.
Yeah, if it gets to 150, they can declare the race, but Nashville has lights. And I remember, JT, 2 years ago, yesterday, a 7.5-hour broadcast on NASCAR.
That was painful.
It was indeed. I was remembering, I haven't hit on the orbit. Oh, it is looping. Good. I was just double checking there because I thought the orbit camera was going to go from us as well here, which was going to terrify me. Yes, it was. Me and Joe Samaniego were covering it as well. We were a bit voiceless after that. Both of us texted each other the next day and said, "Can you talk yet?" And he said, "No." "Can you?" "No, can't talk either." I think that's going to be a feature for tomorrow as well. That neither of us can have any voices. So, we haven't seen you on Formula E since Saudi Arabia. I know you haven't been keeping across of it all. I just want to get your general thoughts on what Formula E has become this year. What have you made of the Peloton style racing? Because we've been talking about that most of all. He's listening to USRN as well. He's doing double duty. Isn't it always fun to see them doing double duty?
Hello.
Hello. I love you on double duty. It's quite funny.
It is. It's annoying, but it's pretty fun as well.
Well, let's hand over then to the world feed and get all the latest as we get into the build-up here for Lights Out for round 14 of the season and the second Portland EPrix.
World Championship. Get ready to go. Pascal Wehrlein comes around the final corner to take the second lap. What a way to start the season. Let's go dueling in the desert. Dennis takes the victory. What a dramatic end. Cassidy into third as well. Disqualified, Oliver Rowland's crowned as the victor of round 6. Let's go, wins in Mazzano. Dennis gets second and Cassidy takes third. Time for the jewel in the crown. It's Monaco.
12 minutes to go.
Nick is asking you to go.
Go, go, go.
It's a Jaguar 1-2. We are here in Berlin. Fantastic drive from Nick Cassidy. Oh, yeah. Oliver Rowland on the podium once again in third place. It's a DAC attack in Germany.
This is how it's done.
Cassidy finishes in second, Rowland in third, and the Shanghai EPrix is underway. Evans does it, second place for Wehrlein, and third goes to Nick Cassidy with Rowland taking fourth at the checkered flag. Wehrlein's in the pits. Oh man. Could be a critical moment in the Drivers' Championship. Antonio Felix da Costa wins. Cassidy and Evans, fourth and fifth place, solid points for them. We are stateside. The Portland EPrix. He's up onto the grass. He's lost it. What a disaster for the championship contender. Another victory for Antonio Felix da Costa. Championship lead for Nick Cassidy whittled down to 24 points going into the third but last race of the season.
Right, before we get underway here in Portland, let's head over to Radzi and Alan to hear more about what to look out for at the circuit today.
We are at a crucial part of the track. In fact, a part of the track that's seen an awful lot of action over this weekend. Al, why has this part been so critical?
Well, there's a few things. One, it's right at the end of the lap, so you're pushing to try to maximise your lap time performance. It's an extremely quick chicane. The other thing is, when you come into it, the circuit just goes up and down, it undulates a little bit, and the cars are becoming loose as they turn in. And it's very difficult, both on entry and also to prepare for the last corner.
And it's something you pointed out to me immediately I wouldn't have noticed, is just how brutal these curbs are on camera. I'm not sure if you can tell. That's the best part of my finger's width there. Can it cause any damage coming back on?
Well, the thing is, to maximise your speed, you need your right-hand wheels here. Normally you would have them here, but actually to maximize it there. So it's how it then comes back across here is the key, because that creates the rear of the car to move around. And what we have seen is as the cars are coming back across, some are not reacting so well to it. And then it sends the driver out of line, which compromises the entry into the final corner.
We've got to talk about this here, because this, I mean, for Nick Cassidy, this is the stuff of nightmares. What took place?
Well, yeah, he came in, you know, it was on the second last lap. He only had about 3 kilometers to go and he was going to win the race. He got a little bit wide on the entry. It ran him out here. And so then he was offline. The car was oversteering. There was no grip. And then he's off into the grass and it's gone. And it's just millimeters the difference between winning the race or losing the race. And here it is absolutely critical for that.
You said something fascinating before we came on air about the fact that the cars themselves won't necessarily be staying inside this line.
No, so you're trying to maximize, I would say, the trajectory through here. So you're cutting the curbs both on entry, on the left and also on the right. And then you're trying to get your car in this position using some of the runoff area. And then that allows you probably another 1.5 meters of width to maximize your entry, so you get on the throttle that little bit earlier, and then you're off down the big long start and finish straight.
We have one less lap today. Will that change things here? Could we see even more incidents?
We've seen incidents in free practice. We've seen incidents in qualifying. We've seen people over there, people over this side. This is a super critical thing. 1 lap longer or less won't make any difference. This is one of the keys to the track.
Which is why we absolutely cannot wait to see what happens. And can Nick Cassidy have redemption right here on this very track and potentially become within touching distance of being crowned Formula E World Champion?
Well, we will find out very soon, Redzi. Obviously, we're getting very close to that point now where the drivers are in the cars, the team principals and mechanics have been making their way past us into the pit lane to get themselves in position for the race today. We're going to get some final thoughts of Jamie and Billy ahead of the race. Jamie, you picked a winner yesterday. Can you give me another one, or do you want to give me a curveball?
It's probably not going to be a curveball, but I think DaCosta's got a great shot.
Yeah.
I think my curveball might be Sam Bird as a little looking, but I want to see what this weather does, because I'm still feeling little spits of rain. I don't know about anyone else.
What's going through your mind when you kind of are feeling those little spits of rain, Billy? You're thinking, this would be great for me because I like the rain, or you're just thinking it could throw the race into chaos?
Well, it's probably going to do that. It's going to throw the race into chaos. But yeah, some drivers will prefer it more than others. It's normally a bit of a separator in terms of skill level. Everyone on the grid is very close in dry conditions and full wet conditions, but those intermediate conditions normally to bring out the best out of some drivers. And that might be the difference between getting some big points for some of the lower teams, potentially.
Quickly for me, can anybody win this from right near the back of the grid?
Well, John-Eric Verne got on the podium from 18th, so I think anything's possible.
It is indeed, it is indeed. Well, it's all building here in Portland. It's set up to be an absolutely sensational race. We're minutes away from the second race of the weekend here in Portland. Get ready for another instalment of Formula E Stateside.
Here it comes then, the Portland EPrix.
Out here by the Columbia River in Portland, Oregon, you get a sense of what makes America unique. The wide open spaces.
It's a fast and flowing circuit. There's going to be a lot of overtaking.
But the landscape ain't the only thing that sets us apart. It's our spirit.
Go, get him.
Now's the time to push forward, to defeat rivals. After all, the Columbia River never stops. Will you?
Here we go then, in ABB FIA Formula E. It is round 14 in 2024. Portland EPrix in Oregon. What a fantastic city this is. Beautiful city, beautiful architecture, beautiful part of the world. Home of the Grid Network. And alongside the commentary box down sort of in pit lane area, but around to help me out is Josh T. Down on the ground, Joe Samaniego and Nicole Fry. And let's see what we've got around this 3-kilometre circuit, 3.190 to be precise, 12 corners. The Shelton chicane down turn 1, often a heavy recharge braking zone. Attack mode is at turn 7 on the outside line, so it is different to what we had before. And then they can fall up. Turn 10 yesterday, caught out Cassidy as well. Here's your starting grid then from back to front. Kyle Collette is in 22nd position. He is on row 11. Alongside him is Gunther. Row 10 sees Norman Nato alongside Lucas Degrassi. Row number 9 sees Dennis in 18th. Alongside him is Sebastian Boemi. Row 8, Sergio Tete Kamar alongside his ERT teammate of Dan Tickton. Row 7 sees Sasha Fenestraz in 14th, 13th on the grid for Nico Muller. Row 6 sees Eduardo Mortara in 12th, Mitch Evans lines up in 11th. Into the top 5 rows of the grid, Stoffel Van Dorn is 10th, Johan Jaruvela starts in 9th. Row 4 sees Nick de Vries in 8th position, alongside him Pascal Verlaine. No Ed Hunter again, which means that we don't have the wonderful Lego EPrix cars to go through, so we'll have to go down the old-fashioned way. Row 3, 6th on the grid for Nick Cassidy. He's got his one hand on the title today. Can he grasp it? Alongside him, Jake Hughes, who was super impressive in the duels. Row 2, Robin Freins for the Netherlands, alongside Sam Bird of the McLaren for Great Britain. Not the only time we've got through to a semi-final here so far this weekend. Front row of the grid, though, Antonio Felix da Costa, winner of 3 of the last 5 races on the track. Winner of the last 2 of 3 overall officially. Can he take a 3 victory streak win? Jean-Eric Verne, though, on pole position. In qualifying earlier, he became the most successful pole sitter in Formula E history. Tom Brooks, Alan McNish and Billy Monger on the World Feed commentary team. Up here in the comments box for you on JBMotorsports and Grid Network, it's Josh Birch, Josh T. Down in the pits, it's going to be Joe Samaniego and Nicole Fry with any information they get as well. JT, they're pulling into good positions. What are you expecting in this race as well? Nice to have you around overall.
Yep, absolutely. Hello everyone once again. Everyone just relocating into their grid positions. Cassidy in 6th, keep an eye on him. I'm expecting chaos. We saw 6 wide yesterday. Could we see 6 wide again?
26 laps, 6 minutes of attack mode as well. The field are going to have a dose of 351 kilowatts per hour. They can either use it in 2 to 4, 3 and 3, or 4 and 2 variations. That's the exit of turn 7. Green flag in the back. All eyes to the lights. It's the last ever Portland EPrix for the foreseeable future. So get ready. Lights on. 3, 4, 5. Action in Portland, and it's a good start from Jean-Eric Verne and Antonio Felix da Costa, but as we always see, they lift off from the run down towards turn 1. Not today. Into the first corner. Freins looks on the inside. Sam Bird and Jake Hughes side by side. Da Costa takes the lead. Verne down to 2nd. Freins up into 3rd position. The 2 McLarens holding at the back there with Jake Hughes and with Cassidy and Verlaine. De Vries in there too. Cassidy getting a bit forced out by Verlaine, so Cassidy stays in 7th position. Van Dorn down to 9th. Jaruvela up to 10th. Mortara to 11th. Evans down into 12th position as well as they come through. Bad start from Evans. He starts at 11th. He wants to make ground and hasn't done. Da Costa leads. Verne trying to come back round the outside. And now here come the McLarens. Bird round the outside of Freins at turn 7. Bats on the acceleration. Can he get through? No. Verne takes the lead away from Da Costa. Now Bird's with Freins side by side. It's not as much as a lift-off start we were expecting like yesterday, but they have all seem to be going pedal to the metal right now. Into turn 10. Look at the leaders in the front. Verne, Da Costa, Freins and Bird are side by side. Hughes is just lifting off, waiting for all the drama to go through. Into the last corner. End of lap 1. And Jake Hughes is going to get an enormous exit here as he comes down the back. He's got Freins just ahead of him, but everyone in front of him is going to lift off. Is Hughes going to do the same thing? Look at that. It's like, look at that. Hughes leads across the line. Wow. And there's 7 wide, JT, into the first corner. This is why we don't like peloton racing.
6 wide yesterday, 7 wide today, and they all get through into turn 1 on board with Van Dorn as they exit the chicane. 3 wide going up there as well.
Bird's up to 4th position as well. Boemi's up 7 places, but it doesn't really matter. Started 17th, up to 7th as well. Portland is on, as we say. You can see on the blogs down below alongside JT. Vern in 5th, Da Costa 6th. How long is my voice going to last out? Muller down to 17th, De Grassi's down to 18th. Evans moves ahead. There goes Bird ahead of Friends again for 3rd position. Mortara in a battle as well with Fenestrals and Boemi just ahead of him coming through turn 7. Not much having a change there. Seti Kamara in 16th, Muller 17th. And now we're seeing side by side as Evans gets ahead of Verline coming through. Boemi look at the inside with Jeruvalo as well. And meantime as well, Friends having a battle with Da Costa and Jean-Eric Vern is dropped back into 5th position. Round the outside, and it's all now just play by ear and feel your way around and hope that you're lucky enough to exit the corner and not get airplane accident. There's a view of the fans in the grandstand watching on as well. Lovely picture of someone's granddaughter there in their phone case. That's always nice to see. Round the outside, 7 wide, become 4 wide into the Shelton chicane and back through again. I can see where Joe Samaniego is standing right now as well. So, hey, hello, Joe. I can see you on the track as well. So, Hughes, De Vries, Vern, Friends, Da Costa, top 5 at the moment. Now Da Costa gets ahead of Friends. Take a breath, JB, because this is insane as they come through, and my voice is already going to give up after what's happened today. So much action in all the races so far. Vern leads Hughes and dropping down the orders to Costa, and I think that's because they've gone to attack mode. How are we going to... Yes, they have. Hughes and De Vries and Jeruvalo and Da Costa and Mortara all take attack modes as well. Hughes, De Vries, Da Costa, Mortara, Jeruvalo, they've all taken 2 minutes. So has Dennis, Nathan, Collette, but De Grassi has taken 4 minutes now, which means he can take 2 minutes later. The virtual race engineer saying that it's better to use both the attack modes early on, JT, and now the water's going to sort of file back in. Look at how close they're all being.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not getting distracted by a car flying across the grass in NASCAR.
Oh!
So, second caution for incident, 3rd of the day.
Is that Gibbs
Bird
flying off, yeah.
is dropping.
Yeah, Vern now leads the race. He's our 2nd leader on this one as well. As a leader across the line on 4 laps. Trying to keep across for that. Boemi's under investigation for a technical infraction. Now, he lost 3 qualifying laps earlier on, laps 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then lost another 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 in qualifying for those technical infractions. That's why he started down in 17th place, and now he's under investigation again, so Boemi could be out of it. Look at the amount of cars that are going to stream through the attack mode. Vern, Verline, Muller, Van Dorn and Cassidy all now take it. Vern takes 2 minutes. Cassidy, I can't even see where he is on the timing screen. He's dropped down. Cassidy takes 2. Van Dorn takes 2. Muller takes 4. Verline takes 2, as I said. Van Dorn did as well. So they're all just changing over their attack modes and strategies right now as well.
Hughes back into the race lead. Lap 4 of 26 about to be completed. About to start lap 5. Here's a replay of the start.
It was a great start from Cassidy. He started in 6th, but then he lifted off to save energy. Watch Verline. He's going to come across. The 2 title protagonists just have a little bit of a kiss coming through the Shelton chicane. And then it's a massive action run as well at the front, because we had Verline, and then all further back the 2 McLarens with Friends and Vern at the front of the field as well. So it was all just sort of concentrating up.
Both McLarens made contact.
Yeah, being touched. Didn't really have anywhere to go on the apex.
You're spot on, JT. They did touch, yeah.
There.
Yeah, wheel bang. So Hughes hitting the side of Sam Bird as Vern leads. And that's why Hughes has taken the attack mode, and he's going to come out right behind Antonio Felix da Costa on the order, and he's going to have a go back at it as well. De Vries doesn't want the lead of the race, though. Vern takes it, but now he doesn't want it either, so now they're going to give it to Sebastian Boemi, who started 17th. He now leads. Proof that the 1 hour and 45 minutes I stood in this commentary box watching the England game and commentating on the qualifying session was an absolute waste of time, and that is a Porsche without a front wing. Or is it, who's got no front wing on down there? I can't quite tell who it is, but it's not Verline, is it? It's not Verline. Is it Verline? Is that Verline without a front wing? It could be. I need to see. We can't quite tell on this angle. I think Pascal Verline's got no front wing. It is Pascal Verline. He's got the front wing is underneath the car. Pascal Verline has made contact with someone, and his front wing is lodged underneath his car. If he's not careful, that's going to cause a puncture. Pascal Verline is going to be out of this race. He's going to be these hand cooks are resilient, but not resilient to carbon fibre shredding along, and Porsche, Florian modelling out there, doesn't know what to look at it. Verline in massive trouble as 2 more cars. Fennestrass takes attack mode for 4 minutes, so does Tinctum. Well, Verline's going to have to box. He'll get the black and orange flag in a minute. He'll have to come in. Look, there it is, the camera. Oh, and it's hit our camera now. Oh, that's a McLaren! That's a McLaren with no front wing! There's another one off!
Bird.
Sam Bird! Damage and off the track and down into 22nd position. Sam Bird in trouble. They're chopping. Well, they're all calling contact. Let's hear from Cassidy.
I think Verline lost the wing, is that right?
Just reporting it to the stewards. Well, we have eyes. It's just that the stewards don't seem to be doing anything about it at the moment as they come into the Shelton chicane once more. Loads of cars trying desperately to get to the chicane. The 2 ERTs battling it together. Sergio Seto Kamara and Dan Tinctum holding it together. Boemi is still under investigation. No news. And Verline's wing has now been fully detached. I think Verline's wing fell off and hit Sam Bird, who is in the pit lane, has now come out as DaCosta takes attack mode. So does Degrassi, so does Fennestrass, and I think Verline's taken it as well, despite not having any front wing. So Verline is going to carry on. Oh, he's at the back! Verline hits the back of Stoffel Van Dorn! He's got no braking traction! He went right up the back there of Van Dorn! How that didn't just go over the top for Verline, I don't know. But this is what you have. This is what you get when we have Peloton-style races. You get accidents. You brake, the guy behind doesn't have a chance to stop. Bang! Unbelievable. The Tour de France does a better job at Peloton racing than we see here right now. Hughes leads again, and what are we going to bother? Well, to be fair, the lap tracker used to be irrelevant. Now it's not. It's a free-for-all. Vern leads. Oh, and Hughes goes to lead deep into turn 1. It's not going to cost him too much, so he'll lose the lead, but who cares? He's going to have it back by 3 corners later. This is Formula E now, JT, without any charging batteries as well. It's basically just a comedy. Wow, keeping through. Let's hear from Hughes now.
Let's think about managing apex speeds.
Basically, don't go off again. I find that quite funny. There goes Vern. He takes another one of attack mode, so does Muller. Vern takes 4 minutes. Muller takes his next 2. So Boemi, who leads this race, still has another 4 minutes of attack mode left. Mortara has 4. Fennestrass has 2. De Vries and Freins 4. Evans is not taking any yet. He's still got 6. Tinctum's got 2. Van Dorn 4. Seto Kamara 2. Cassidy 4. Gunther hasn't taken any. And neither's Bird. But I think Bird is out of the race. As you see a replay now, did Verline's wing get... where's Verline in the train here? I'm trying to find him out. Oh, that's there. I'm looking further back. There it is. He hit the back of Eduardo Mortara. So Mortara lifted off the brakes, and Verline went straight into the back of him. And to be fair, it's just a braking error. But I don't think, JT, there's anything that Verline could have done there. That's a concertina from Peloton.
Yeah, that absolutely is. As a change to the lead, Boemi goes into the lead with 4 minutes of attack remaining, and well, they said they're going to use their attack mode early and definite. Oh!
And the race leader, Sebastian Boemi, who started 17th, has now been given a drive-through penalty for that technical infraction. So it's all done for Sebastian Boemi. It doesn't matter. He's going to fall right to the back, and he knows it. And now he's going to let Vern through and just try and save as much energy as possible for a maximum attack. Boemi is pushing to take the second attack mode, says the virtual race engineer. No, he's not. He's backed off now because he knows he's got that penalty. Into the lead of the race goes Nico Muller in the Abt Cupra. And Verline is still managing to race with 2:24 left on attack mode without a front wing. That is a damaged finished. Oh, hang on a minute. That might be Colette. That's Colette with a damaged front wing. Colette's got a damaged front wing.
Yeah.
Verline's got no front wing. Look at the speed he's got. Blast through down the inside line.
So that is Boemi backing off as soon as he got told about that penalty to save energy, hoping for a safety car, hoping for an incident, a bit of grass kicked up there on the exit of the chicane, and now he's hoping for some sort of full course yellow or safety car to get back in this race, and he'll have extra energy because he saved a little bit.
That could be all it is. He won't lose too much either. He's 29 seconds back to the field, but if he can push a little bit harder, that's not going to be go. And JT, NASCAR's gone caution for weather in the area, so that might be a red flag soon, so you might want to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
So Vern, Muller, DaCosta, Hughes, Mortada, finished last. Muller leads this race at the moment now. He's ahead. Vern's dropped back into second position. DaCosta still in third. And now we lead it down. Laps led in season 10. Verline has led 69. Cassidy 61. DaCosta 56 as well. It's all about the money in Formula E. Side by side. And is Vern taking the lead away from Muller, or is he just lifting and coasting? He's lifting and coasting. 16 to go into the first corner as well. And now Vern does take the lead, but it doesn't matter that much away. Muller has led a lap, though, here in Portland. As Cassidy, side by side, getting a little bit too close for contact there. Through on the inside. This is Cassidy. 64.6% of energy left. So in 11 laps, he's used about 46%, which is nice. Red flag in NASCAR as we go to Cassidy.
Big jump over
Okay, and the front guy's taking attack.
Cassidy there. The lead. Yep, they're in the second one. Only Fairline in front of you.
Yeah, Cassidy wants to know what they've done. So NASCAR's gone red flag again, by the way, for weather. So that's going to be fantastic news, isn't it? We all know how that plays out. Hopefully we won't need to try to chat too long, so me and JT will talk after the race what we're going to do with that. Muller leads. Boemi has served that penalty, remember, and now that's 31 seconds the gap, so he's starting to save energy. So Boemi is going to be hoping for a safety car. On board with Sam Bird, who's back out on the track. He's a lap down on the rest of the field. Even a safety car won't help him as Robin Friends takes the lead now in Envision. Don't forget, it's only going to be about oh, huge one there! And that's another wing gone. Is that a diffuser that's been broken off from the back of Jake Hughes? Because we saw Verline hit the back of him hard. Yeah, Hughes has got bodywork damage, so the second McLaren has no front wing and a rear suspension that's a bit dodgy as well. All right. So that's Bird down in 22nd and Hughes in trouble.
Oh man, Sasha put me in such a corner that I had to make a decision.
Yeah, copy mate, elbows out.
Friends has taken 4 minutes of attack mode. Cassidy's taken 2. Evans has still got one left. This is what happened to Sam Bird earlier on in the race. Front wing comes off, and yeah, Bird hits it straight away. So Verline's front wing flies off, and Bird just runs straight into it. That's why he was off. Here's Kamar's radio. And Bird's radio, sorry.
You should have come in.
Yeah.
It's gone underneath my car. My race.
Well, that's what we were saying about.
Well, I agree with Sam there. It's gone. The team should have called him in. It should have been a black and orange flag, and it wasn't. It's in between DaCosta and where he's been noted. I don't know where that's happened. As off the track and riding was Eduardo Mortara. He was in second place coming into turn 1. Jumps across the curb. There's further action at the back of the Shelton chicane. So all hell breaking loose. Blue smoke coming from one of the cars. Can't see from where. It's not Verline. It could be Hughes. Collette's dropping back. Collette's dropped into 20th position. I wonder if he's involved in that little melee. Hughes down to 20th. Hughes is in trouble, I think. Yep, Hughes is off. Hughes is off. And he's out of the race. I think Jake Hughes is out of the race with some form of suspension damage. He's gone straight across the track. Yeah, the wheels point the same way now. But which way is he on the circuit? Is he facing the right way? Yes, he is. So Jake Hughes, coming through turns 6 and 7, gets punted off the circuit. And Cassidy's down to 19th position. What's happened to Cassidy? The man who was in the hunt for the championship here today, though, and he's had another one. He's got wing damage. Cassidy has front right wing damage. It's broken off. The championship leader once again having problems. And if he doesn't score any points here today, Pascal Verline, who has wing damage himself, is going to score.
I just got completely taken out.
And they're all coming in the pit lane.
This.
Wow. It's rush hour here in Portland. So many cars. Jake Dennis is involved. Cassidy's involved. The two of the championship protagonists have had contact here in Portland, and Dennis has no front wing. Oh, man. Kyle Kalinin as well. He's got no front wing. The championship has delivered a final blow here in Portland. And before we go to London, it's all changed. Dennis, Cassidy, De Vries, Colette Hughes, all in. Wow, I want to see a replay of that one. It's taking my breath away up here in the commentary box. So, trying to work this out. Friends leads, Costa second, Vern third, but what was that drama with Hughes getting sent off the track? That's brought up Cassidy and Dennis. Verline is going to be 13 points back in the championship. Verline has a shot. He can just continue on. He's in third place. He's got no front wing, but he's winning. And he's going for the lead of the race. Pascal Verline has no front wing, and he is in contention to win this race. Let that sink in. That would be amazing. Wingless. And look at that. Cassidy will be on. It'll be 9 points. It'll be 6 points. It was a 19-point gap. I don't believe it. Cassidy has had the weekend from hell. Here's Verline.
Robin in attack. We stay behind. We stay behind efficient.
The weekend from hell for Cassidy is going to give London an absolutely barnstormer. I can't wait for this. I honestly can't. So much. Ow, more wing damage! Verline! Oh no! Mortara's off! And he's got damage to the front left wing and suspension. Verline takes Mortara out of the Portland EPrix. They are four, and Verline takes the lead. Wow! We are 4 wide. Vern leads into the lead. Oh, this is just crazy. This is beyond pandemonium right now. I don't think we've got enough drink in the world to get through the next 11 laps. Fenestrans and Hughes are under investigation for causing a contact. JT, this is blown up. Here's Cat, 2 seconds. Right, this is at the Shelton chicane. It all started with Mortara jumping over the chicane. There goes Cassidy damaging his front wing on the back of Jake Dennis. So what happened to Jake Hughes coming through the later half of the track? Well, there we go. That's NATO. There's his wing breaking on the back of Dennis. Yeah, thank you very much. Mortara boxes. So that changes again. And are we going to see anything from Mortara? Yes, here we go. So this is Mortara. Side by side with Verline. Verline loses more of his front wing end plate. No, Mortara loses his front wing end plate. Touch the back of Verline. Here's the radio.
Mortara off. No, and I get a puncture. I get a put. No way. And I get a puncture.
That's his own fault. He got a puncture from his own fault. His rear puncture was already there. So who did he hit? Must have have a debut to get that. JT, what have you got for us as we come into turn 1 again? Lap 17 and 26.
You don't think you've got enough drink for the next remaining laps? Do you think I've got enough drink? Hold on.
Yes, you do. I need one of those in the box. I really do. Where do you get it from again?
Lidl.
I'm off to Lidl. That can go perfect on my desk right here. That would actually be brilliant for a weekend. I need one of those. Especially during the middle. I've got a decanter that I keep water in to drink during the night. But I need one of those things to go in as well. Yeah.
I will warn you.
Yeah?
Don't get tricked out by what they've done. They've got 3 different sizes. Smallest to largest. They've got small, medium, large. But they are all the same price. So make sure you've got the 5.5 litre one.
Thank you, JT. I will. I'll go tomorrow and get it. Verline has taken the lead of the race to Costa. He's going to have it back, though. So Verline is currently leading the race with no front wing, by the way. In terms of energy, they're all about 36, 35%. So they're all about the same. It's a blast off to the end here as the sun comes down in Portland.
I'm happy to delay 2 more laps. Delay 2 more laps if you can make it positions.
Evans is going to delay. Evans wants to go through and take this one. Porsche now controlling this race together. Remember back in Monaco when Jaguar did this, and then Portland as well. This could be their similar size to track for Porsche to do this. They did it back in Berlin as well, and in Misano to many effect as well. So this is going to be the Drivers' Championship. Cassidy will lead on 167 points. Verline will be on 161. Evans on 150. DaCosta 134, level with Vern. So we will have 5 drivers going into the last round of the championship in mathematical hunt for the title. Realistically, 3 drivers could take the title. Safety car! Safety car! As Fenestras gets a penalty. Not sure why. As of yet, the safety car's been deployed. As Evans goes through the outside line, but we have a safety car deployed here in Portland. Don't know why it's out. We'll start the clock. We'll have added laps then. And, oh, there's more wing damage. So, Fenestras has been given a 5-second time penalty for pushing a driver off the track. So, why has the safety car come out on lap 18 of 26? Why has Scott Elkin, the race director, decided that is needed? Can't see any cars off. Here he is.
In car 8 to please catch the pack. I need all other cars to please catch the pack.
Well, that's exactly the point I was just about to make.
Everybody packed up, please, so we can get this debris picked up.
That's debris. Debris.
Sorry to interrupt you then, Scott, but that's exactly the point that I was just about to make, because this is a golden ticket for the likes of Buemi, for Dennis, for Cassie, all these drivers, De Vries, etc., who were in the pits, because they can now close up onto the back of the rest of the field. This is a second opportunity for them.
And they can close up in an energy efficient way at lower speed under the safety car. This is huge.
So, did you know a safety car was coming? Or did you know that there's an incident? Okay.
No.
Because Buemi passed us like crazy, like he knew something was coming.
No, nothing. No.
Okay, interesting.
That's the...
So Buemi's shot past them all, and then the safety car was called. Interesting. So they're going to want to do the debris change here. Oh my God. Why are we leaving Portland? It gives us entertaining races. It's a proper driver circuit as well to have a race at. We go to Miami, of course, next year. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, the Miami International Speedway. So it's a Roval configuration, similar to what we had at Puebla during COVID. When was Puebla? Season 8, 7 or Season 8? Season 7, I think. We've covered it in the championship for a while now. So the entire field is bunched back up. And we can get going again to have an attack. So, well, we will have added laps. Reminder of that as well. So you're not going to get scot-free here. We will have at least, if it's anywhere 2 to 4, it's add lap, blah, blah, blah. Right now, the safety car time is on 2:25. Right, if my voice holds, I'm going to have some ice cream out of this. Ed Hunter says, it was Season 7, Josh. Thank you, Ed. Puebla was Season 7. Thanks, Ed. I remember Megan being in the box for that one. So let's go through the order. It's Freins, DaCosta, Verline, 1, 2, 3. Vern's 4th, Evans 5th, Muller is 6th, Degrassi 7th, Nato 8th, Fenestras 9th, Gunther rounds out the top 10. And then it's Van Dorn 11th, Druva 12th, Teti Kamara's 13th, Ticktum's 14th. Let's hear from Evans on the radio.
Evans is radio.
I'm not sure if it's flat or not. Okay, just you tell us. We'll be ready. Just should it come up on the pressures or not?
Yes.
Well, we may as well risk it if we box with anyway. So.
Okay. Apologies for the language there. Druva is 12th, Teti Kamara 13th, Ticktum's 14th, Buemi 15th. Now this is where it gets interesting because Buemi were involved in that incident. So it's Buemi, Dennis, Cassidy, Colette, Mortara, Bird, De Vries. They all get back in the mix, but De Vries is 3 laps down. Hughes is out of the race, so Hughes is our official retirement. Bird's a lap down, he won't get any laps back. So Mortara up, still a chance, and it's a new liveried Porsche safety car here this weekend, but it is still the usual Porsche safety car. They've just got a new livery on it this weekend, which I think it looks rather fetching. There's 2 safety cars, of course, that can be in play, the blue and the silver, and they've opted to put the silver one out this weekend as well. It's still the normal Porsche well, it's an electric car, isn't it? Looks rather splendid as well. Although I do know that in Extreme H it's now become, because Extreme E is now turned into Extreme H, hydrogen-powered cars. They've got a Toyota safety medical car, which is a hydrogen-powered 4x4, which I quite like, has come out. Nicky Shields had the intro. So looks like we're going to have an added lap max to this race. So we're coming back to 27, the same as it was yesterday. And the field have closed back down. What do you think of JT as the pace car comes in?
Did I hear my name?
Yeah, sorry, I'm having a coughing fit. What do you think is going to happen when we go back to green?
Well, hopefully we will all get away safely and cleanly, but then again, it is Formula E. Green flag in the air, and it's a green car leading the way. 65 races since Robin Frijns last won. Da Costa right behind him. Frijns launches into the final corner.
We're in Portland, we're in America. May as well do it once. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing again. What are we going to have here for the last blast in Portland? Across the line we go. Everyone darting to keep the straight line. Is it flat out racing to the end? I don't think it is just yet. 29% left for Frijns in the front. He's immediately passed by Da Costa, who can. He's got 2 extra percent. Brilliant saving of energy there from Antonio Felix Da Costa, just like we saw yesterday here. But he too has a damaged front wing. So everybody racing with damage here. If you're a scrap metal merchant over here in Oregon, you're going to be in for some luck. Just come walk around the circuit later on tonight and you'll have scrap metal galore that you can sell and make into nice coffee tables, and motorsport fans will buy it up. For God's sake, we have front ends of NASCARs made into coffee tables with TV stands over there. So absolutely fantastic. Evans takes the attack mode as well, and he's taken 4 minutes. Remember, he's still got an extra 2 to go, so Evans is going to be on maximum attack for the rest of the race. Well, and breathe. Evans now changing through. Look, even he's got a dodgy front wing. It's flapping around more as well, like a bird. Speaking of, he is moving up as well. Still a lap down, but he's still in the mix of this one at the tail end of the field. Evans now, 2 races since his last win. He's closing in to this one. What are you thinking? 2 more laps until we see push time, JT?
Yep, possibly. Evans goes alongside down into turn 1, and that promotes him to 3rd championship position. I believe that was one of the Cupras, the 51, that was a little bit deep into the turn 1 chicane.
Muller going straight on. Didn't go straight off the track though. Mortara and Hughes are under investigation for causing a collision, so keep an eye on that graphic if anything changes with any penalties being deployed. So we'll get told soon. We spent 5 minutes and 6 seconds underneath the safety car. That could put it in. Jaguar won't be team champions here today. 292 for Porsche, 317 for Jaguar. So both titles will go down to the last round of the season in London. A double header, rounds 15 and 16 of the championship, and it's going to be a title fight that we thought Cassidy would have one hand on it, but he's had a weekend from hell here, and now it's closed right back up. Here's Da Costa, look, winner in Shanghai, winner in Portland, winner in Berlin as well. 3 of the last 5 races he's won. He's won 4 of the last 6 races, if you count back to the race he should have won at Mazzano. He has been unstoppable here, as Verline now back up into 3rd position, a battle with Mitch Evans. Frijns trying to go around the outside of Da Costa into turn 1. They're all now just playing for time, but it's running out.
Just stay ahead of him. Just stay ahead of him. If necessary, invest.
That radio came a bit later now, I got told in my ears, so that was I did a perfect segue, and it didn't go that way. Noted, contact between Hughes and Fenestraz. Interesting. Just holding it on now. Ed says as well, I wonder if Porsche will prioritise Verline over Da Costa, because Verline is much closer to Cassidy in the points. I agree with you, Ed, considering that. Look at that, Cassidy 167. Evans is now up to 2nd actually on 156. He's a point ahead of Verline. So yeah, Da Costa's 134 back. If I was Porsche, I would prioritise Verline, because it's a miracle that Cassidy's had 2 bad races when he needed to be right up there. So prioritise Verline. I think that's what he's going to be getting told over the radio now.
Stand by, I'll come back. Stay in the lead. Make sure you stay in the lead.
No added laps. Oh,
One
one.
added.
Okay, it came up with no added laps, but now it has. So it'll be a 27-lap race. It's a one added lap. Da Costa's just been told stay in the lead. Back them up. Do not let Evans take the lead. Verline needs maximum points here. This is going to be crucial for when we go to London in a month's time at the XL Centre. Verline Radio.
Off the back.
It doesn't matter.
I know. Stay calm. Stay calm. Just giving you the information I have. 5 laps to go.
Until, yeah, he has to let Rines pass.
Just look.
Go, Pascal. Come on. Stay calm. Stay collected. You can do this. You can have your fight back. It's not as bad as you think it is. Evans, P2. He's about to run over attack mode and couldn't get ahead of Da Costa. So now we're in effectively go time. And Cassidy's moved up. Fenestra's dropped down. Colette, Tickton, Mortara dropping down the order as well. So Boemi's up to 10th. Boemi with 18% of battery power. Dennis with 17. Don't rule them out yet. They're on a charge in the field. The guys who were involved in contact got brought back in for the safety car. JT, they've saved energy here, and they could play a massive factor in the end of this race. They're not that far back. Come on. How much more energy? 3%. That's a lot. Boemi's burned it away, though. Da Costa's saving it back, so it's not now as much. Dennis still want to watch. Let's hear from Mitch Evans.
Ground right now.
Copy. Da Costa more than 1% up on us. Rines flickering very close. Maybe a little bit up, but not much.
Degrassi and Gunther are now under investigation as well for causing a collision. Boemi passes Dennis. Boemi into the top 10. Dennis outside of said top 10. We're now into a 32-minute race. The race yesterday was 34 minutes long. And it was also one of the fastest races in Formula E history at over 150 kilometres an hour average speed. Which is a surprise considering they spent most of the race lifting and coasting. So, yeah, make of that what you will. Evans lets through Frines. Frines takes second position on the run in towards turn 1. And is Frines now going to have a go at Da Costa? 2 to go. Verline's very much in trouble. Tickton passes Colette. At the same time, down on the Shelton chicane, Mortara, Bird and DeFries into the pit lane. They're out of the race. JT track drying has begun, just to let you know. Over at NASCAR. Yeah, he's nodding in agreement. Radio to Costa.
Into this one.
Yeah, can I just go for it? Yeah, we will not risk the race win. We will not risk the race win. Stay in front.
So basically, you can't push, you can't back off to Verline, so Da Costa just win the race. Focus on team points here. So I think they're not going to focus on Verline getting the race win. They're going to focus on team points. But we're about to find out because we're coming up to one more tour. For the time being, enjoy your last ever Formula E lap around the Portland International Raceway. I hope we come back. Degrassi wants to come back. I want us to come back. Down towards turn 1 is Robin Frines going to take a victory as well. 63 races since he last won an EPrix. Can he get ahead of Da Costa, who has been taken 3 of the last 5 races, back-to-back coming into it as well? Look at that, 320 laps left for Da Costa, just 101 for Frines, but 102 is the magic number. It will be Da Costa's 12th win, Frines' 3rd career win. And it's all down now, into turn 7. Takes a little bit wide, can't find the way through. Again, holding it on the line. I think Da Costa's got this one. 2% of energy left. Evans is on 1, they're all hitting it. Verline's now on 1 as well. They'll make it to the end of the race. Has Frines got anything to go through? Through the tricky turn 10 and 11 and 12. Frines is getting awfully close. Frines is going for the move. Out of the last corner. It's a run to the line. Here in Portland, Antonio Felix Da Costa doubles up again. Da Costa wins both races in Portland. Frines is 2nd. Evans 3rd, Verline 4th, Vern 5th, Muller 6th, NATO 7, Gunther 8, Boemi 9, Dennis 10. Cassidy, 13th, and no points in both races. The title is back on, going to London. We came here thinking Cassidy would have an open goal to wrap it up. He's left, having to look in his rearview mirror, going into London. Wow!
Say that did a great job. Here's DaCosta's radio.
I tried to help a little bit more, but yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Amazing job from Antonio Felix.
I love that. DaCosta trying to help Verline and is open about it. De Grassi gets a 5-second time penalty for forcing a car off the track. That drops to 17th. Here's Billy Monger.
Dude, wow. I don't know, he's been managing these races super well, and you know, I've got a big group of guys guiding me through them, and we do it together. So yeah, wow. Oh my God, man, what it could have been this year, what it could have been.
With that safety car, that really changed the dynamic of the race that we had there. How was it managing it out there? The pace of the race today looked a lot quicker than yesterday.
Yeah, we had to be a little bit more aggressive today, but you know, with aggressivity, obviously you lose a little bit of efficiency. So it was really being smart and then just trying to deploy the energy in the right moment at the right place. And yeah, I guess we did that a little bit better than the guys around me. Robin really came charging there at the end. Yeah, well, I love fighting these guys. It's been super fair and hard. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun on these races lately.
Congratulations, you've been in top form. Well done.
What a drive from Antonio Felix da Costa. What might have been for him, he's quite...
I think he's right there. What might have been. What a performance. An absolutely fantastic Formula E race here. And driver of the day for Da Costa at 32% of the fan vote as well. We'll be hearing through everybody shortly as well. Let's go over to the world feed, though, and get the closing reactions to this race.
Right now. Yeah, it was a hat-trick for Antonio Felix da Costa here in Portland. He does the double in the United States of America. Second place for Robin Freins, once again on the podium for a second race in succession. And Mitch Evans, third place for him in the Jaguar. A fantastic result. Shout out as well to Nico Muller, sixth place in the Abt Cupra. He will be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, he really maybe expended a bit more energy than others, but that safety car today probably helped him out a fraction. A strong race from Nico Muller there.
Well, Dak to Dak to Dak to Dak, I guess.
How many Daks you want?
He needs to stop winning races, otherwise I'll have to keep going until the end of the season. What a job from Antonio Felix da Costa. I am running out of superlatives to describe the sheer tenacity of this man. He has just been on emphatic form in the second half of the season. If ever there was a reason for Tag Heuer Porsche to keep a hold of him for 2025, I think he's fairly certain that he's passed the job interview.
He's definitely cemented his position at that team. There's no way you can drop someone who's won 4 races, 3 in a row.
Sure, a lot out, right? Yeah.
Well, what an opener we've had here, and all the action blowing up. Absolutely amazing race here. I really don't believe that we have to leave Portland. It's heartbreaking, to say the least. JT's covering NASCAR, and if you're watching on Grid Network, you can also watch the Grid Live wrap-up show, where they'll cover the NASCAR race as well as the ARCA races. And JT's now laughing his head off up here in the commentary box as well on the cameras, and I'm trying to understand why. JT, what on earth is going on USRN right now on their commentary that you're laughing your head off?
We have officially lost it, and we are going... we are going through the backlog of USRN broadcasts, and we have come across the middle of the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The IndyCar iRacing Challenge.
Oh my! Is that on the JB? Is that going to be on JBMotorsports as well then? Because of course they're playing it. Oh my!
So yeah, that should be fun.
So hang on, are they playing filler content now?
I believe so, yeah.
Fantastic.
Soon.
Hey, that's going to be... Hey, people on Grid Network as well. Get over to USRN on Mixler as well. And if you're watching live on JBMotorsports, you know where to go for some Ace Filler content. You guys are going to be...
Is the redirect set up, or do I need to do that?
You might have to do it, yeah, because it's not. It
On
was not set up correctly to come into it. When we get back, we'll hand over to the world feed, and we'll be back for the podium ceremony as well to talk through everything and go forward. And it's just normal how you do it as well here on JB Motorsports, and hopefully those of you on Grid Network have enjoyed watching along. If you do, you know where to go as we head back over to the world feed and the wonderful Tom Brooks as well, who I'm definitely going to try and get on the broadcast at some point later on in the year as well.
Had here in Portland. What a weekend, and what a job it has been from Antonio Felix da Costa. Superb. Robin Freintz there congratulating with his teammates, celebrating with Sebastian Buemi. Buemi eventually coming over the line in 9th position, the 2016 champion, so double point score for the Envision team. Let's get down, though, to Radzi and catch up with Antonio Felix da Costa. A double victory here in Portland.
Antonio Felix da Costa, points for Porsche. You're now 4th in the Drivers' Championship. 4 race wins in 5. 3 race wins in a row. You're on fire.
I don't know what to say. I honestly... Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, I'm happy, I'm emotional, I'm angry, I'm everything, you know. I'm just glad that I'm getting to ride this wave right now. I know it doesn't last forever. I've been on it before, I've been out of it before. So I'm just gonna try and keep doing things right and enjoying this moment.
A strange question. If Misano doesn't happen, and what I mean by that is, if you're given the win, do you think actually that's what's triggered this in many ways?
Oh, well, those points would have been massive, but it is what it is. We try to get them back and we failed, so yeah, I told you yesterday and I'll say it again. I mean, what it could have been, and I think a lot of people in this world live by the motto of never giving up, but man, I think we're going to a complete new degree of that motto, if I'm honest. So yeah, it's insane, it's insane.
Well, it's Antonio's world and we're just living in it. Well done, mate.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Come on!
Dak is back, all right. What a season he is putting together. It is still game on for the championship. I know he seemed a little bit disconsolate in that interview, but 2 wins here in Portland. Was it 32 points we said in the Drivers' Championship that he's adrift going into London with a fair chunk more on offer?
This is wide open, Tom. We've now, I think, got 4 drivers in the mix for the championship, realistically. And if you're going to put da Costa in there, only 3 points back is Oliver Rowland. So he didn't even show up this weekend, and he scored as many points as the championship leader, Nick Casti, who has just been renowned for being consistent this season. Portland really has thrown a spanner in the works on this championship.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare for Nick here in Portland, hasn't it? Absolute shocker of a weekend, to put it mildly. No points scored for the championship leader on the penultimate weekend of the season. On the other side of the coin, maximum points in terms of race victories scored for Antonio Felix da Costa. And what about Robin Freintz as well? 2nd place yesterday, a double podium for him here in Portland. We'll go down and catch up then with the Dutchman. He is talking to Radzi. Let's hope he's a little bit happier with 2 podiums here this weekend.
Robin, coming into this, not many people favoured you to podium. You've done back-to-back podiums. What a performance, mate.
Yeah, it's a good way to bounce back, definitely. We had a tough one, and I have to say the team did a mega job. We prepared good for this race, and we delivered. So I'm really happy with P2. Unfortunately, we just missed out. It was closer than yesterday, but having double podiums, I'll take it.
It seems like some drivers, when their backs to the wall, they come out swinging harder than ever, and with possibly doubt about where you're going to be next season. What a statement to make.
Yeah, exactly. It's been, as I said, it's been a struggle. So I wanted to bounce back, and I knew I can do it. I knew the team can do it. So, yeah, here I am.
Congratulations, Robin.
Thank you.
Robin Freintz, 2 second places here in Portland. Let's have a look at the race from his point of view. This was down towards the first corner. started on the second row of the grid, cycled his way up. He was always there and thereabouts for the entirety of the race, actually.
Yeah, the entirety of the race, and I think that's what starting at the front does allow you. Someone like Robin Freins, at any point in the race, he wasn't really in a position where he could get caught up in the carnage, like we saw Nick Cassidy, Jake Dennis, the drivers that started the race further back. You always run the risk of getting involved in someone else's carnage. Robin Freins didn't have that.
Let's catch up with Mitch Evans then, third on the podium here today.
Mitch, a brilliant race yesterday, then controversy. What a way to respond, a podium.
Yeah, look, it's nice after what happened yesterday. I'm finding it hard to get over yesterday. I think it was still a ludicrous decision, so hard to take. So it was nice to come back and get something today. We just didn't optimize qualifying on my side, and the starting position wasn't optimal for the second race, but it was a really hard-fought race. So to get myself to the front, I again, had to do my attack quite late, just because of the way that the race was playing out, and I had to really consume a lot of energy to make those overtakes with the high targets. So I just was a sitting duck at the end, but it got me track position. So yeah, good points. Obviously would have loved to win, but after the safety car, things really sped up, and third was the best what we could do.
In terms of a neutral fan, you have made London absolutely fascinating. You're now joint second, both 12 points off the lead. It's now game on, mate. This is exciting.
Yeah, look, obviously it's unfortunate what happened to Nick. But yeah, look, I just came into this weekend wanting to do my thing and see what happens. So I guess it's yeah, we'll go into London. Obviously tight with Pascal, and it's gonna be tight between us. I think I'm sure Antonio must be close as well. He's won every race or feels like in the past half season. So but it's gonna be a big fight between us and Porsche for sure.
Can't wait to see it. Well done today.
Cool. Thank you.
Clear frustration still on the body language there for Mitch Evans after being cruelly denied that victory yesterday, but bouncing back for a third place finish here this afternoon. Keeping his championship hopes alive, he's now tied on points with Pascal Wehrlein, and as he quite rightly said as well, Jaguar and Porsche very, very close now in the team's race.
Yeah, Porsche this weekend, thanks to 2 wins from Da Costa, have really closed up in the team's championship, and it's game on for both championships. James Barkley at Jaguar must be frustrated because the errors that creeped in with Nick Cassidy making the mistake in yesterday's race, all of a sudden, that lead that they'd worked so hard over the year to build up in the team's championship, it's filtered away. It's gone almost.
Absolutely. Well, the fans now making their way down to the stage here in Portland to begin the podium celebrations. Looking forward to seeing what will happen down there in terms of Antonio Felix da Costa and his wild celebrations. Maybe he'll go into the crowd. I reckon he'll do a bit of crowd surfing, you know. Anyway, let's have a look at the results, shall we, for round 14 of the 2024 ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. The Hankook Portland EPrix. It is the double in America for Antonio Felix da Costa. 3 wins in a row. Robin Freins, 2 second places here as well. Mitch Evans back onto the podium as well with 3rd place ahead of Pascal Wehrlein in 4th position. Jean-Eric Verne in 5th place ahead of Nico Müller. Great result for Abt Cooper in 6th ahead of Nato. Gunter came through right from the back of the field to 8th place, classified at the checkered flag ahead of Buemi, and Jake Dennis just sneaking into the points right at the very end of that one. The big outlier though, Nick Cassidy. No points at all on the board for him here this weekend. An absolute disaster for the championship leader, and a lot of work for him now to do going into the final weekend of the season in London. This is what it means for the Drivers' Championship. Just 12 points his lead is whittled down to from 24 at the start of today. Mitch Evans and Pascal Wehrlein tied on points. You've got Da Costa and Rowland still mathematically in with a shout as well. Verne and Dennis not too far adrift, but realistically it's looking like a bit of a 4-horse race, especially given the form that we've seen from Da Costa so far this season. The Teams Championship, Jaguar TCS Racing see their lead shrunk right down, 322 points to Tag Heuer Porsche's 289. DS Penske now building a bit of more advantage over Andretti as well, and Nissan failing to score here this weekend. It means that they sit in 5th place. A couple of margin though ahead of Neon McLaren. Envision also moving themselves up into 7th in the championship standings, and Abt Cooper cementing their advantage now over Mahindra as well. What about the manufacturer's trophy then as well? I'll have a look at that, I'm sure, a bit later on. But now it is time to begin the podium celebrations. The fans here watching on. They've been phenomenal, so enthusiastic. We love going stateside just for this. And they've really embraced Formula E in this part of the world.
Yeah, they're passionate, they're enthusiastic. They've turned up in their numbers this weekend, and it's great to see this side of the world embracing Formula E in this way.
This side of the world embracing Formula E. Get yourself down on the circuit PA there, Billy.
Didn't like that.
It's so wonderful to see the fans here in Portland. And as I said, very much looking forward to the podium celebrations beginning very, very shortly. Antonio Felix da Costa back on the top step once again, putting in, as we continue to mention, a quite superb second half of the season. Mitch Evans as well, his chips were down yesterday, visibly frustrated. 8th he was classified at the checkered flag after that penalty. But nonetheless, really, really impressive performance for him. As he said, didn't start where he wanted to, but a podium finish at the end.
Yeah, a podium finish. He said it. He mentioned there about his late attack mode, how he had to expend energy, and how third realistically was the best result possible. And looking at the timing screens, he only had 600th of an advantage across the line to Pascal Wehrlein. So I think that sums up his point pretty nicely.
And just a point to mention on Pascal Wehrlein as well, because we don't know if there's any investigations ongoing regarding that front wing incident. We saw the front wing go off, it went into Sandberg's car, it compromised Sandberg's race. They might have a look at that.
It seemed a little bit sketchy. It was under the front of Pascal Wehrlein's car for quite a while. Smoke was bellowing off the tyres. It felt like one of those ones where surely he was going to come in. He stayed out, and it didn't affect his race in the end, but it affected others, and I think the stewards will look at that.
I suppose the argument is, well, the team should have done something about it. They should have called him in. But the thing is, the team are fighting for the results. They're not going to want to do that, are they?
They wanted to keep him out. They wanted to give him the best chance of scoring big points. And finishing 4th, considering the scenario he was facing, is exactly that. They'll have to deal with the repercussions of that now.
Yeah, we'll see what the scenario is going to work out with regards to that. The podium celebrations, as we say, about to begin in a few minutes' time here in Portland. Great job also for Jean-Noël Verde and also Nico Müller as well in the Abt Cupra. Really pleased to see Müller doing so well. On the other side of it, Lucas di Grassi, he was right up there in the mix at the checkered flag. He dropped down to 17th place in the end.
Yeah, it's a shame for di Grassi because he was right in contention for a while. He was there or thereabouts. Lots of up and down movements in those last few laps, with depending on energy levels, people were really chasing each other. The pace was exceptional. The fastest lap today at 1 minute 10.6 yesterday, almost a second slower than that. So that just shows to you how hard they were pushing those last few laps because they had that extra energy in the pocket because of the safety car.
Well, yeah, looking forward to what's going to happen in London, because it's not going to be a similar style race to what we've had here in Portland. You know, we've seen these high energy pack races for the last few rounds. We saw it in Portland, we saw it in Shanghai. Before that, we had it in Misano as well, and also to an extent Sao Paulo. London being a traditional Formula E track, in quote marks I mean by that, very different set of circumstances.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the driver's room. There are other issues down there, catching up with Max Günther, with Jay Dennis and Norman Nato.
You got squeezed by Lucas, mate. Exit of 10.7.
Yeah, Lucas got a penalty.
I'm not surprised for that. For that?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
It's what you did last year, not to, I don't know, Birds?
To Bird, yeah.
Yeah, was similar, yeah.
Why couldn't you get to the front?
So then, podium celebrations about to begin. That's the driver's room tease. Keep an eye out for that appearing on your social media platforms very, very soon. 3 drivers there ready to make their way onto the rostrum. A lot of anticipation in the air, as we said, going into London, Billy. In particular, as I said, because it's going to be a very different style of race. We mentioned about these high energy levels of racing, qualifying not being that important relative to where you're starting. However, in London, it is.
I'll tell you one person who won't be happy that we're going to have probably a different style of racing to what we've had recently, Antonio Felix da Costa, because in this style of racing, he's been exceptional.
Yeah, well, the Dakar Zak, as you can see there, very well supported. And the podium celebrations about to begin here very, very shortly.
Welcome everyone to the 2024.
So then, podium celebrations about to begin here for the 2024 Hankook Portland E3 round 14 of the championship. First of all, we'll have the team's representatives, Florian Modlinger, team principal for Tag Heuer Porsche. Nice to see him and Antonio Felix da Costa sharing a bit of a joke and a laugh, because there was a bit of needle between them earlier on.
Yeah, it looks like they're discussing celebration, so they're in a good place.
Well, they're not discussing contracts, are they? Because they're both laughing.
Probably signed that already.
Onto the podium then comes Florian Modlinger. What a team he has put together for Tag Heuer Porsche, maximising the efficiency of the car. It's not only about the driver in Formula E, it's all about a team effort. And Florian Modlinger steering that ship in very much the right direction. And he has put it together quite the outfit, especially in this latter half of the season.
He sure has. 33 points in the team's championship now. Not a lot there.
Not at all. Mitch Evans, fantastic job for him to bounce back from the disappointment of the victory being snatched through his fingers yesterday. Finished first on the road, was classified 8th with the checkered flag, visibly disappointed. Even still after the race today, it was still a case of unfinished business for him. But nonetheless, a podium in challenging circumstances for the Kiwi. Keeps his championship hopes alive going into London.
Yeah, someone who's been close to a championship on a few occasions, but not managed to quite get across the line. He'll just be happy that, considering what happened to him yesterday with that penalty, that he still got a good shot at the championship going into London.
Tied on points with Pascal Wehrlein now, 155 apiece for those two drivers. Robin Freins then, second place on the podium. Like London buses, aren't they? You wait all season for one, and then two come along at once for Robin Freins. Fantastic job from the Dutchman, showing the form and the pace that we always knew he had in Formula E. It's just taken a little while to unlock that potential.
Yeah, fastest lap, the only man to dip beneath the 1:11 mark, so that last lap was mighty impressive. He gave it everything he had.
Onto the rostrum for a second time in as many races then for Robin Freins. Sylvain Philippe, something to smile about for the long flight home this evening. But Antonio Felix da Costa, he was the last driver to win 3 races in a row back in 2020. And some 4 years later, he has done it for Tag Heuer Porsche here this afternoon. The double in Portland, a hat-trick of victories in his last 3 races in Formula E. And once again, it is the top step of the podium for the Portuguese driver. It is game on for the championship in 2024.
I guess it shows some formers temporary, classes permanent. Antonio Felix da Costa delivering so many race victories this season. He's really showing why he deserves to be on the grid in Formula E.
Well, podium celebrations about to begin. Let's get the national anthems underway. For the second time this weekend, it is the Portuguese national anthem for Antonio Felix da Costa. Now it is time for the German national anthem. da Costa once again here in Portland. 3 wins in a row for da Costa. Mason Oliver, the FIA Girls on Track representative, awarding the trophy to Florian Modlinger. That'll be a nice flight home. Not sure whether they fly back tonight or tomorrow morning, with a sore head potentially, if it is tomorrow morning for the Tag Heuer Porsche team. Jeff Dodds, our Formula E CEO, awarding the third place trophy to Mitch Evans. Tied on points now with Pascal Wehrlein coming into the final weekend of the season in London. Second place though for Robin Freitz. George Silverman, the president of ACC US, is the dignitary to award it to the Dutchman. That's a nice silverware for Envision to finally take home this season. And now time for the winner's trophy. He's getting used to this. Rob Williams, the president of Hankook Tire America, awards the victory trophy to Antonio Felix da Costa once again. And now take cover. It is time for the champagne to flow. I'm sure long into the night here as well. It's been a party atmosphere here in Portland. It's time for a party in the USA tonight as well. Sheer delight.
Thank you very much to Tom Brooks there and Billy Monger. I would talk through the end of it myself, but my voice has absolutely gone after today, and I've been saving it for the conclusion of this show as well. JT, going to ask you to come back in. I know you're laughing your head off right now at what's happening. What's going on in USLN?
We have now moved over to the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Series race at Talladega from the 26th of April 2020. And Matthew described it as a stupid race. So there must have been a lot of stuff there. So we're going through that now. And previously, Matthew got the camera footage, the live stream up from the end of the Indianapolis race, and it was very silly, and I will have to share it with you later on.
Yep, I want to see that. Thoughts on the race here in Portland?
Well, I mean, from what I saw of it, it was a good race and a lot of chaos, and, well, Acosta does the double again.
Well, a massive thanks to you, JT. My thanks as well to Jess for streaming practice team. My thanks to Megan for letting me also use her laptop. My thanks as well to Jack Giamana for joining us in the race yesterday. And a big thank you to Joe Samiego and Nicole Fry, who have been trackside for the Grid Network, a partner of ours here, and of course our race coverage going out on the channel as well. If you have enjoyed what you've watched, please do like and subscribe to both the JBMotorsports and the Grid Network channels. Next up, it is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and on the Grid Network, all the review shows coming in. My next show on Grid Network will be the Grid Tonight show on Wednesday. My next show on JBMotorsports will be a special preview to the British Grand Prix and the whole weekend next week as well, to let you know where you can watch the coverage details as well. What a weekend here in Portland. It's a shame it's for the last time, but certainly when Formula E comes back, it's going to come back to Portland, isn't it? Because it's a fantastic venue. It's Antonio Felix da Costa doing the double. It's Nick Cassidy having the weekend from hell. All this lines up that we have a championship finale in a month's time at London in the XL Centre, where once again the title will be decided, and we'll be on site with the Formula E Zone crew as well. We'll see you soon. Take care. Goodbye.